I'm Matt Bronikus with WA Specialised Transport. Been with the group for about 12 months. Been in the industry for about too long, and the General Manager. We needed a solution for our trucks where, unfortunately, a competitor was finishing up the technology on the 3G, and I went to the owner and said, I think it'd be a good idea to try and combine the camera with the actual tracker. And the solution was actually quite cost effective, but what we got from it was a hell of a lot more enhanced to what we had in the past, to have the ability to be able to track, to be able to pull reporting, and also have the safety of the cameras. The beautiful thing with the camera is that we can remote in, we can have a look at what's going on with the truck at any time. If we get an alert, I can actually have a look at the rear cameras and see how the load's going. I can see what the driver fatigue is. I can look out the front and see, we generally run as a convoy, so I can actually check the front, the truck in front and everything. What we do with a lot of the footage is, if we have an incident, we recall the footage, we work through the footage, we actually present it with the incident report, and then we actually do some training from it and show the driver what may have gone wrong. We started with just the camera and forward facing. Probably the hardest thing with all of that is the change management. People are not used to having cameras. We then put the cameras on the back of the truck because we realised that we could actually get live footage of what's happening with the load. We do very large oversized loads. We're probably one of the larger in WA. So we want to see what's going on with a 8.5 metre load. You know, we want to see that the trailer that's 50 metres long or 100 metres long is travelling correctly. So the camera gives us the ability to be able to do that. Now, we had an instance earlier in the year where a driver made a mistake, and we were able to run through the video footage with Main Roads and show what actually happened with it. And it was a learning experience on both sides. Fleetware has been fantastic in that things like compressing the actual data so that we can have more data for a longer period. You know, the suggestion of the rear cameras, the upgrading of the cameras, there's a lot of things happening at any one time. We're integrating the whole system into our business. We're even using the Fleet Run part of it, which is the mechanics love. It's very simple, connected to the cameras, it holds the odometers and holds the hours, which is exactly what we need. So Fleet Run, what it does is it captures all the hours on the truck. So the service on a truck, and in our case, we idle and do low speeds for a long time. So our hours are actually more important than the Ks that we travel. So if we can get a balance between the two and understand when the truck is ready for a service, not just by the Ks on it, it actually can save the motor. It can actually save us money. It's less maintenance and there's more reliability. So we keep running, we keep making money. You know, you only need a couple of incidents that will pay for the actual camera, and then the ongoing being able to manage your fleet, your supervisors and so forth, being able to dial in and see what's going on without having to make phone calls and checking with drivers continuously, it pays for itself, well and truly. Mate, I can see it'll be mandatory before too long. Main Roads and NHVR are already starting to put processes in place of having cameras and fatigue. Anybody that doesn't adopt it now is going to be left behind. If anybody had any reservations about dash cams and AI, they're crazy. The cost saving, the training ability, the monitoring, it pays for itself at the end of the day. A couple of incidents will well and truly pay for the capital outlay, but then the ongoing subscription cost is offset by the ability that you have in your operation now that you didn't have before. Safety in the heavy haul industry is paramount. The likes of MRWA and NHVR are now adopting it into things like PBS and different structures. So, you know, if you've not adopted it now, you're going to be left behind. If you're working with Fleetware, good WA-based company, you know, with international reach, new technology, always looking for the next thing, just a great bunch of people.